3, 2, 1, go!
Let me introduce myself. I'm Muhammad. I'm a mechanical engineer. I have now more than 14 years experience as project manager. I worked in several fields. Let me review quickly. I started in the oil and gas field, and then I moved to the renewable energy, working as project manager, fabrication and construction of wind towers. Then I worked about 3 years in the thermal energy, thermal power plants, also fabrication and installation of the power plants. All of these projects were in Egypt. Then I moved here to Qatar, and I was, Doha, Qatar Mall, there is a metro station, Unrefined metro station. I was the project manager of the steel structure of the station and the roofing system. Then I worked in Lusail. I started as project manager for this project, Marina Yacht Club. I think who is frequently going to Lusail, I think he saw this pretty building. And the last project I have done is Salwa Mountain. This is a very huge project. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
So which is better? This voice or this voice? With the mic?
Yeah.
Place the mic.
I need to make it.
I think if you place it,
I can handle, but I'm turn off.
حطه على الستاند. Yeah, حطه على الستاند.
لا I like.
Moving around. It's okay. It will be hearable. Just try.
So can you?
Yeah.
Is it fine?
It's fine.
Okay. Good. So my last project was in Salwa Mountain. This project located at the end of Salwa Road, near to Saudi borders. Very huge aqua park and group of villas. I was the project manager for, all of these mountains are, like fake mountains. It's in reality it's a steel structure covered by tin. Okay, so my scope is to build all the steel structure of this canyoning and other building. I recommend everyone to visit this. It will be open like at the second quarter of February this year. Really? Good. You are there?
No, but I've heard from a friend.
Yeah. It will be open in the first quarter of 2020. It's amazing project you have to visit. Let me tell you, one of the building that it's underwater cafe. Just you will be sitting in the cafe drinking something, and the windows will be in the middle of the sea. Like a lot of fishes and divers. It's amazing project. Okay, you have to visit. Then I moved to Watershed as chief business officer with Mr. Salahuddin. Okay, this is my experience. So we believe that in order to be good project management trainer, you have to have experience. It's not a matter of only talking. Okay. For the academic experience, I got my PMP 2015. Then I got my PMO certification 2019. Then Six Sigma Green Belt, Lean Six Sigma Green Belt, and Scrum Agile Master Certified. Okay. And for your information, never be satisfied with what you have reached now. What you have reached now, this is only the current state, but make sure that you have annual plan for yourself to develop yourself. Make sure you have annual target. Not only by certifications, but at least you have to develop yourself. You know what? If you didn't do this after 2-3 years from now, you will be surprised that your top management are bringing some people less years, less experience, but more knowledge. Then they will make the placing for you. Okay. So the point that you will think that you are until now you are fine. This is the starting of your falling down. Okay. You have to take care of this. Fine. Let's start our lecture. Okay. Question. When I say scope creep, what do you think about it? Scope creep.
Shifting.
Sorry?
Scope shifting.
Scope shifting, okay.
Deviation.
Scope deviation. Yes.
Variation.
Sorry?
Variation.
Variation, variation,
Fraction.
variation, variation.
Fraction.
Variation means you will take money.
Not necessarily. Variation is not
Okay.
the
If
scope.
you will take money, so it's not scope creep. I mean, if you will go through the change management plan, so it's not scope creep. Okay. What is a scope creep? Yes.
I think it's scope creep because the continuous changing and you reach to the project will be endless.
Yes. Without
Any result.
any compensation as time, money, you know. Let me tell you a story. Last week I was returning home, then I received a call from my wife. Please, can you just pass by this Carrefour to bring one packet of sugar? Okay? So fine, I agreed. And one packet of sugar, it means this is my target tonight, okay? Unless I cannot go home. Fine, I accepted. This is my scope. When I went there, I received a call from my wife. Please, can you bring 2 kilos of rice? Fine, okay. 2 bags of rice. Another call, another call, another call, okay? Until I returned back with the annual storage of the food system of the United States. Can you imagine? Can I call this scope creep? Yeah. I have scope, and then I start adding more and more scope. So what is a scope creep? Scope creep is adding additional features, additional work, without getting any compensation, either time or cost. Okay. As per the Bell book explanation for the scope creep is adding features and functionality to the project without addressing the effect on the time, cost, and the other aspects. So this is the simple definition of the scope creep. Question number 2. Do you think the scope creep is something rarely happen in the projects?
Usually.
Surely it doesn't happen.
Yeah, let's say some numbers, okay? And please don't surprise. Nearly 50% of the projects experience the scope creep. Can you imagine 50% of the projects experience the scope creep? 57% only finish within budget. 57 only finish with budget. 51 are on schedule, which means 49 of the projects, almost 50% of the projects experience delay in the project schedule. What else? 40% of the agencies exceed the budget. Why? Due to the scope creep. Can you imagine these statistics?
Is this based on Qatar market or?
No, these global. No, these.
I was sure it's not for the region.
Sorry?
It's not in the region.
You mean you need to increase this number or decrease
Yeah,
it?
for
Very much.
yes.
Okay. Okay, now let me ask you a question. Now, what is the problem of the scope creep? Scope creep is something good? For me, as project manager, my target, I have to make my customer happy. So scope creep for me is good. Do you agree?
No.
Why? You don't like to make your customer happy?
If you pay,
Yes.
Yes, you agree. Thank you. Anyone else? Please say you are agreeing also.
Yes, I agree.
Thank you. Yeah.
I totally agree. Actually, it has a positive side. You have to, variation orders, it's good.
Yeah.
But you have to control it. You have to put the limit. You have to know your criteria or agenda.
Very good.
So once it is out of your control, you can say no. So
Yes.
this is but scope. Variation orders is really good for projects.
Very good. So what is the line, the very small line between the scope creep and it's not scope creep? Only one. Sorry? Yes. When can I consider it as gold plating or when can I consider it as project manager? It's good for me. It's good for me to make more features. What is the,
If I have the
What?
compensation.
yeah, thank you, the word compensation. I will do more work, I will take more something, I will take more money, I will take variation orders, I will go through the change management system. Yes or no? If yes, thank you.
But
You add more.
You consider 10% always, you know, in each project you consider 10% extra just for these things.
Yes, maybe yes, based on the contract definition. Maybe yes, maybe in the contract we define plus this percentage we will allow, or maybe plus or minus,
Yeah, but they are paired.
depending on the contract.
Yeah, 10% is paired.
There is another issue.
Yes,
It's not always in the favor of the project manager of the company to have variation orders. If you have planned to move from this project to another project, then you need to reschedule all your resources again for the other
of
one.
course.
So this is
This is another issue. Also. Yes, yes. Fine. Very good. So, what do you think the role of the project manager in order to, first, in order to control the scope creep, he or she should understand what is the scope creep. So what is the role of the project manager? Assume you have new projects. What is your role in the project? Simply, very simple.
Define the scope.
Thank you. Then,
And he has to reintegrate all
integrate what? Yes, good answer. But integrate what?
stakeholders.
Manage the scope. Manage.
So scope is one point to manage. Only the scope?
No,
Stakeholders, people. Only scope and people? Resources, schedule. What about the cost?
Yeah, but
Procurement.
Procurement. Not yet, but yeah. The attitude of the project management technique should, of course, respect and controlled by these ethics. All of this. So, can I say the project manager is the only one who should integrate everything together to achieve the project requirement? Of course. Of course. Do you remember this table? Do you remember this table? In order to manage any project as per the PMI, of course you remember that.
yeah, very hard one. Yes.
I know it from my blood, I know. Yes. To manage any project, I should follow these 5 stages. Initiating, planning, executing, monitoring, controlling, closing. 5 process groups. But how many knowledge areas I should follow? Not 11? Not 9?
49.
No. These.
10.
10.
How many knowledge areas? 10.
10.
Thank you. As a project manager, in order to be a good project manager, I should focus only on the project schedule management because I need to control the schedule. Do you agree?
No.
No?
Everything.
No. Sorry. So the schedule and the cost. Yes. Schedule and the cost, both of them.
Everything.
And quality.
Resources.
And communication. And everything. You agree? Yes. My role is to control and compete and balance all the project knowledge areas. Of course. Because you are the one who can say, yes, we will pay this month 10,000 real extra. We know we are over budget, but if I pay this 10,000 real, I will finish ahead of schedule, so I can save more than 10,000 real and I can be under budget. Can you do this? Of course. But I have a question. If you can delegate or have team or people to do most of these project management areas, what is the only one you cannot delegate and you have to do it yourself?
Integration.
Sorry? Integration. Who agrees?
Yeah.
You agree? Because you attended last class, of course.
Yes.
Here is the point. Yes, the answer is the integration. If you can remove the project manager, the word of the project manager, and you can add one word equal to the project manager, he is the or she is the integrator. You are the integrator. Do you know the concern? If there is a concern, who is the number one in this team? In this concern, sorry.
Can you explain your question?
Again, if you have this, this music concert, and you have a lot of players,
Composer. Composer, right?
Yeah, the maestro, the conductor. Why? Because he can or she can control everything together and can manage all of them. And if any something out of control can be put down or be on with the group. Yes. Let me show you something very amazing. Let's see if 1 or 2 minutes from this. This is a concert, and let's see how this guy managed the project. Okay? The team is part of the project, the audience also is part of the project team, all of them. Okay, let's see. Can you, no voice. Okay, let's come to here later. Okay. So, in order to be a good project manager, I should manage all these 10 knowledge areas. And one of them is the integration. Integration is the main role of you as project manager. Okay? Because you will work as integrator. You will have the output from the scope, from the schedule, from the cost, and from all the aspects, and then you will put them all here to manage your project. But let's focus on our target here. Our target is about the scope. So, as you said, in order to manage my project, you have here the project itself, and you have something inside the scope and something outside the scope. Okay? So, if this is the project scope, would you like to deliver this? No. Would you like to deliver this also? No. So my scope is not to deliver something below the requirement or something more than the requirement. My target is to achieve the requirement. That's it. This is my scope. This is my target. Okay? And in order to manage the scope, I have to achieve, or I have to define clearly my scope. Okay, in order to define the scope, can you tell me what is the difference between product scope and project scope? We have something called product scope and project scope. Do you know what is the difference between them?
Product scope is the specifications of the product itself, the tangible deliverable.
Yes.
But the project is the actual implementation of the project.
Yes.
How are we going to deliver that deliverable
Yes.
or product?
Yeah, very good. So if we have a scope, assume we have this project to deliver this wind tower. Okay. So in order to fabricate this wind tower, we have two kinds of scope: product scope and project scope. Product scope means what are the features of this product? What are the final features and characteristics of the product? Such as the customer will say like this: I need the height of this tower to be 50 meters. I need the span or the length of the wing to be 30 meters, and I need the generator to introduce 1.2 megawatt as output. These are the outcome or the features of the project. Fine? So what is the project scope? Project scope are all the steps and processes I have to do in order to achieve the product scope. So, and this one of the photos from our factory to produce the wind towers. So in order to produce this tower, okay, I have to bring the shells, and then I will make rolling, and then I will make welding, okay, and I will make all of them together. I will make painting at the end, and so on, okay? My question is, as project manager, would you think you need to focus on the project scope or the product scope or both of them? Of course, both of them, yeah. Because you have to do this in order to do that, okay? Fine. So I will define the scope, I will set everything approved from the as project management plan, then you will start the execution. When you start the execution, from day one you will start the execution, you will work to control, to protect your scope. From what? From the scope creep. And the scope creep is like this, adding more and more scope in daily basis or weekly basis or monthly basis without even you can realize that there is scope adding to your work. And you know, here in the Middle East, please can you do this? Please can you do that? Or the opposite way. I am your customer and you have to do this, otherwise your payment will not be released. In both cases, you have to comply. And at the end of the project, you will be the only one who will be blamed from the top management. Why? Because you are the hero of the project and then comply. So, in the execution part, this is the boundary of the project, and if you couldn't control it well, the scope will be going increase and increase without controlling until you will be eaten by one dragon. This dragon is called the scope. Okay. So what is the immediate solution for this? What do you think about it? How can you control your project from the scope creep?
Say no.
Simply.
One, of course, no. If you still say no, you will be terminated. I mean, don't say no, please. Lord, please. This may be one of the solutions. But how you be proactive before saying no in the middle of the execution? Assume you come again back to the planning stage. How can you control your project in the planning stage from the scope creep, which will happen 2 months later?
Define the scope.
Thank you. Define the scope. Okay, but all people define the scope. What I have to do in my scope defining to make it clear?
Very well. Detail.
Define my scope very well. To the detailed aspects and points. What else? What about collect the requirements? Do you think if you have complete requirement collection from the stakeholders, can you minimize or reduce the scope creep?
Yes.
Yeah. What about identifying the stakeholders?
No.
Very important.
Very important.
Yeah.
You know, one of my mistakes like 10 years ago, I have a very important project. I was working in family business, 4 brothers, very strong brothers. All of them appeared every day in the company except one. Came like one a week, 1 month. Then I start collecting the requirement from my project, from all the people, from mainly the 3 brothers, and I forget to call the 4th one. I started the project, I made very good work. I comply with all the requirements of the people, including the 3 brothers of the management. Then, at the day of validating the scope, everything is fine, everyone is happy, and I went to do my presentation like this, okay? The first one who came in this day early, sitting in front of me, number 4. And looking at me like this. No, I speak, I'm waiting for it. It was very bad day for me. Why? Because I couldn't collect all the stakeholder requirements and I couldn't cover all of them. Okay? Fine. So let me move quickly to some reasons of the scope creep. Okay? One of the scope creep reasons is the unclear and unrefined scope definition. Okay? maybe due to we don't have time, we don't have, we have a lot of pressure from the top management. Top management force us, or the customer force us to start the execution. So we don't have clear, okay, and defined scope, okay. Okay, I will say 5 reasons, and then I will say the solution of them, okay. So this is the first one. How can we control this? How can we solve this? Okay. From the sponsor point of view, the sponsor should develop a charter, clear charter with specific features. Okay. The charter should be clear. From your point of view, from your role as project manager, you should create clear and tight scope statement. Okay. I know in some cases the scope is not clear. The scope is always changing. We don't have clear contract. We don't have market drawing. But you have to, as much as you can, you have to have clear and tight scope statement. Okay. And also you have to decompose the deliverables into work packages, like using the WBS. Okay. This is the first reason. Second reason: lack of any formal scope or requirement management. Okay, which mean here we are talking about the gold plating. Question: do you know what is a gold plating? Gold plating is something very nice to the project, and we should have all do the gold plating. Do you agree?
Who pays for it?
Sorry?
Who will pay for it?
Yeah. So what is the gold plating? Gold plating like this. Now I'm the customer. I need you to do, like, as per the requirement, I need to make this painting and make 400 micron painting. Okay? This customer is very important and I like him. So you will call your team. Hello, team, painting team, the customer needs 400 micron. So we will do 800 micron. Please make sure you will make 800 micron. Why? Why? To make this guy what? Happy. And you will go to the jail after this project. So this is the gold plating. Gold plating, like, I need one. I need only one. This is a gold plating. They need one, that you give two. Why? Why? It's not your money. It's not your money. The customer need one, give them one. That's it. End of the story.
You are generous.
Hmm?
You are generous.
Generous, yes. Okay. So what is the solution here for the project managers? And I will of course here the solution is from more than one side, like from the project managers, from the business analysts, from both of them. Okay. But let me focus on our role as project managers. Okay. You have to include a change management process in the scope management plan and follow them both. Okay. So can you give me example of change management process? How can we do this? So now we have clear scope, or the scope is not clear, however, and you need to make it controlled. You need to make sure that from the first day or the first month, no one comes and tell you, please do me this or do me that, which is not in the scope. How can you control this?
Contracts.
Contracts. Good. But remember, most of the customers, when they talk about do me something, not in the contract, they will forget the contract. Ask me, I'm every day in this. How can you control it? Yes.
Having clear requirements.
Good. Having clear requirements, yes. And now I am the customer and I need you to make me one small room beside this room. I need it by next week. Can you do it for me by next week?
No.
No, you say to me no. I am the customer.
But we have to make be sure, in how much time we can do what.
Yes, how much time you need it?
Change money.
You need time.
I need to plan, yes.
You need time.
You need money.
I will give you 1 week. Can you see how much I am generous?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Time and
So
cost
you-
reports.
Yes, this is the point. In the beginning of the project, when you are planning your project, you should mention like this. In case of any requirement asked by anyone, by the customer or by my senior management or by one of my team, to do something not in the contract, not in the market drawing, not in the specification, you have to follow something called change management plan, which is one template. You write what you need, you write what the scope you need, you attach some drawing, if any, and send it to me by mail. Or send it to the CCB. Do you know the CCB? Change Control Board committee. I'll do one committee, receive all the changes, and study it, and then in one day I will give you a report with the time and cost consequences. Impact, and please confirm. You got it? Because I tried to do this in my project. The design was not complete, and every week the customer requests more changes. And then when I say, okay, please, this is not in the scope, then you say, yes, I know, I need it. I said, okay, it's not in the scope, so we have to study and analyze, and then we'll come back to you. Then he say, do you know how much this will take? 1 week, 2 weeks? I need to start after 2 days. This is the customer make pressure over you. So in this case, you do like this. Okay, sir, I will give you the impact with 4 hours. 1 day, 24 hours, you will have the impact. You got it? So you have to plan in advance how to manage the change management in your project. Okay? Fine. Next reason. Inconsistent process for collecting and track product requirements. This is my lesson learned. When you collect the requirement, you collect it one time, and whenever you have new stakeholders, we forget them. I will collect the requirement until 12 a.m. Anyone will come after 12 a.m. will not be received any requirement. We work like this, but we have to collect the requirement in consistent way to make sure that everything is covered. Okay. Fine. Number 4, lack of sponsorship and stakeholder involvement, and this also related point. From you as project manager, you should provide project status that engages the sponsor, focusing on how deliverables are being realized. Okay, and from the sponsor also should provide clear charter that communicated the product features. And the last point, which most of us face actually, the project length. There is one one rule, the longer a project, the greater the chance for scope creep to occur. Why? Because the project is long, so please do this as
Business process can change.
yeah, I need to do this. It's not complete. Please do it, and then the project. And I will show you now case study. Disaster because of adding more and more scope. Okay. So, of course, also here the solution is to control the project, to make good database, to decompose the project in a good way, and to divide it. Whenever you have very long project, divide your project into phases and make sure you close each phase, and when each phase will be closed, no longer will be open. Okay? And this is the secret. You will find all the customers, they need to have very long project with one contract. Yes? Yes? Then you'll come to the customer and say, please, I need to have new contract for this package. No, it's one contract. Why? Because the customer will not give you the CCC, the construction certified certificate or construction complete certificate, CCC, until you finish your contract, and your contract will never finish because your contract is very long. Okay, so make sure of this. If you are involved to make the contract with your department, try to make subcontracts for the project, and when each part is closed, make sure it will be closed. Yes.
Can scope creep apply for remeasure contracts?
Why? Yes.
Because if it's not part of the BOQ, you just add the items, right?
This item is not defined in the BQ.
That's what I'm saying. You add it. You ask for it to be added.
Yes, of course.
And,
Right.
and then you mitigate the issue after you build, and you ask for variation.
Yes. Again, whatever, you have two ways. You don't have except only two ways. Control the scope creep by preventing any more scope to be done in your project, or adding this through the variation system or the change management system. No way. You cannot put it in any way else. Whatever the contract type.
So
Okay.
it can occur.
Yeah, of course. Okay? It sounds not open? Fine.
Can you play it on the computer and put the mic?
Aywa?
Internal speaker?
Aywa? How do you bring this idea? Very nice. Yes, I will. Okay, let me tell you one case study, okay? Case study for scope creep, okay, which is no good, of course. I mean, this Denver International Airport. Do you know about it? Okay, this project was planned to open in October 94 with budget 2 billion. Okay, this is the original. Unfortunately, it was not going as per plan. Why? Because the project opened 16 months late. Okay, this is what I found in the computer, in the internet. They don't know that here we have project more than 16 months late. I know. Okay, 16 months late and came up early with 250% over budget. 250% over budget. Okay, which is like 4.8 billion. Okay, let's see what is the reason. You know, plus these 4.8 billion, they were paying 1.1 per day for the delay due to the delaying operation. Can you imagine? It was a big fail for these projects. You know what? According to the studies, okay, the cause of this delay was numerous due to the scope change, undocumented scope change, insisted by the United Airlines. To be specific, there were around 2,100 design changes. Can you imagine? And the point is, this design change was undocumented. Can you imagine? And regardless this number of changes, of course, the airport failed massively due to the complexity of its package system, which has these 2,100 change. Can you imagine? It's a very big problem. Okay. This is the first case study. And by the way, let me tell you, one of my project, it was like, I think 42 million. The contract was 42 million real. We closed the project with 51 million real, and this extra only from the change orders. Can you imagine? Can you imagine how the project can go either to the success or to the failure in order to control only the scope? Okay. Let me show you this. I think also I can open this one. It's a little bit long. We can see part of it. This is one story. It's a very old story, but it happened. And very big failure due to the scope creep, okay? Just tell me if you can see it. Go. This is okay?
Yeah.
This angle is okay?
Mike,
No, you can connect it to the TV.
بس هذا الصوت من الكمبيوter.
ما هو if I put the screen here, no voice.
لا, you can. From the control.
أنا أحط المايك كده صح؟
From the control.
If I put the cable, The volume absorbed.
ممكن تساعد الأخير.
بس قول لي عايز تعمل ايه تعالى انا اعرف شغال الصوت لا ما عندكش Thank you.
Most of the ships in the Swedish Navy were small patrol vessels with few guns. The king urgently needed to strengthen his fleet, so he decided to build larger, heavily armed ships. And to lead this project, he hired master shipbuilder Henrik Hibbertson, tasking him to build a gunship 108 feet long with 32 cannons on the gun deck. Master Henrik had built several ships with those specifications, so he accepted the commission and estimated that the ship would be ready for war within 2 years. However, something seemed wrong. Despite the urgency of the project, the king kept requesting design changes. Eventually, after several twists and turns, the king approved the final design of the ship, which was to be called the Wasser, and he donated the raw material to begin construction, a forest of 1,000 oaks. A few months later, tragedy struck. The Swedish Navy lost 10 ships during a heavy storm, so the king called Master Henrik with a new instruction. Accelerate the project to finish sooner, and don't worry about the budget. Henrik adjusted the plan and resources to accelerate the project, but a few months later, another message arrived from the king. Dear Henrik, I've been thinking, in addition to speeding up the project, you must make the ship bigger, at least 120 feet long, so it can carry more military cargo. Well, this made things complicated for Henrik because he had no previous experience of building bigger ships, and at that time there were no mathematical simulators to automatically enlarge the design. He also already cut up all the timber to the original size. Henrik convinced the king that if he wanted to meet the accelerated end date, the maximum size would have to be just 111 feet. Even though the king was not very satisfied, he approved the new project scope. Henrik and his team were happy because they finished the 111-foot keel in record time. However, his beloved king appeared with another new requirement. In Denmark, they're building a larger ship and it has a double row of guns, and I want ours to be like that. Henrik was desperate. The king was asking for something that seemed to be against the laws of physics. And he had no materials, no blueprints, no specifications, no experience in building such vessels, and no time. Henrik told the king that in order to enlarge the Wasser, they would have to use wood that was reserved for another ship. The king approved the change, and Henrik agreed to enlarge the ship to 135 feet. It would probably have been simpler to cut down a new forest instead of stealing resources for another project. The construction team had grown considerably, and by this time more than 400 people were working on what was then the biggest project in the history of Sweden. When they had made good progress with the expansion of the Wasser to 135 feet, the king had another word with Henrik. One more thing I forgot to mention. Instead of 32 cannons in one row, we need to fit 36 cannons in 2 rows, plus another 12 small cannons and 48 mortars and 10 other smaller caliber weapons. Henrik was really stressed with all of these changes on the fly when they had no time, but he understood that his king must always be obeyed. Fortunately, the budget wasn't a limitation, so Henrik replanned to accommodate all the new requirements. After several months of work and close to the deadline, the project had made really good progress. cannons so we could use the same ammunition for all the guns. The king obviously didn't understand that having 64 big cannons would add so much weight that the Wasser would become unstable. Unfortunately, Henrik was not able to tell the king about this because he died of a heart attack when he heard the new requirements. Fortunately, Henrik had a skilled assistant, Hein Jacobsen, who took over the project, determined to please his beloved king Gustav. Hein moved forward with the project, including the new requirement to include 64 big cannons. Costs were skyrocketing and the king continued to push for an accelerated end date. The project was almost ready when the king sent for Hein. I've been looking at those ships the Danish are building. Our ship has to look better than theirs, so I want you to add some decorative sculptures. About 700 should do it. That'll show those Danes. During all his years building ships, Hein had learned two things. A king must always be pleased, and size matters. The short time remaining to the end of the project was spent adding decorative sculptures that had no connection with the military equipment, rather than investing that precious time in structural testing of the stability of the ship. Remember all that extra weight from the cannons? Hein insisted that the Wasser couldn't sail without completing a stability test. But there wasn't time for a full test, so they just told 30 Marines to run from one end of the ship to the other. Even with this simple test, it became clear immediately that the ship wasn't really stable. But the king couldn't wait any longer and threatened that someone could get hurt if they didn't finish everything right now. So no one tried to improve stability, but then Hein didn't know how to do that anyway. Finally, after 2.5 years of construction, the big day arrived. The most modern, sumptuous and largest ship in the Swedish Navy was ready to sail. And on the 10th of August, 1628, amidst great celebrations with fireworks and in the presence of several foreign diplomats, the Wasser left the port of Stockholm with 150 passengers under Captain Sirfrid Hansen. As the ship sailed away, the gun ports were open and the guns were pointing out so that they could fire a salute to the dignitaries on shore. Suddenly, a gust of wind swelled the sails and tilted the ship to one side, and the first row of cannons hit the water when the water began to enter through the open gun ports. The crew tried desperately to save the ship, but they couldn't stop the catastrophe. Water rushed onto the gun deck and down into the hold, and in just 15 minutes, the Wasser had sunk completely, killing 53 crew only 120 meters from shore. The most expensive ship in Swedish history had only sailed 1,300 meters. Who was to blame? Obviously, it must have been the captain. Next day, Captain Hansen was arrested, and the inquest was called. Fortunately, justice was done, and the official verdict of the inquest on the reason for the sinking of the Wasser was, only God knows. Of course, Master Henrik could have told them the real reasons, but then he was dead and buried. So what can we learn from the tragic story of the Wasser? The pressure of a tight deadline combined with constant requirement changes, lack of technical specifications and the need for innovation, these things can kill any project. So even if your project has a powerful sponsor who insists on changing the scope, be very careful about gold-plating your requirements. Scope creep can be fatal.
Just remember this. Okay, we are almost done. Just let me show you something to remember at the end by what is your role as project manager, okay? Let me show you this guy to learn.
What does luxury mean to you? Luxury.
Just when you see this video, remember your role as project manager, okay? Have you ever seen happy team like this before in the project? Okay, we came to end. I'd like to thank you, and I wish you get something beneficial today. And thank you again.
Any questions?
Any questions? Do you need a movie? You need that 2 videos? Yes. You mentioned you wrote your name.
You just started the same زيارة.
هقول لك انا معايا شهر. لا انا بهزر. يعني هنشوف طريقه هقول لك. Any question? Thank you. If you need any question, anything, this is. أنا ببص على. Okay.
لا بس couple of questions. Can scope creep be misunderstood with negligence?
With?
Negligence.
Okay.
The other question.
Can you give me an example of the first question?
For example, something was not clear in the contract. Instead of elaborating on that topic, they overlooked it, and when it came time to build that point, it was not understood well.
Yes.
So the client had different idea from what the contractor had.
Yes.
So it can be considered as negligence, right?
Yes.
From the contractor side. So sometimes we can misinterpret the word decrease with negligence.
Yes, it can. It can. One of my projects, we have in our scope we have steel columns, okay, and we receive this in the contract and we use it as steel columns, and we don't have the height of the steel columns because the design was not clear at the time. What we did is we assumed that the steel columns are 5 meter length each, okay, and we work according to these, and we call the project, we award the project, and so on. At the middle of the project, we receive notification from the customer that the project, the column of the steel column height is 32 meters, multiplied by 20 columns. Can you imagine?
32.
Sorry? Sorry?
32 instead of 5.
Yes. Yes, sir. And I was a project manager, and I started looking for someone to kill, but I couldn't because the tender engineer left the company safely. And you know, it was a very big fight with the customer, and the customer said simply, "Why you didn't ask me? Why assume? Why you said it's fine?" And they are right. So the answer to your question is, when you have unclear information at the beginning, you have to clarify it. You have to raise it from there officially. Yes. Because this guy, he sent to the customer, "We are not sure, but we will assume," and the customer didn't reply. And they are right. In this case, we have to raise it officially. Kindly be informed that we don't have the information of this height, and we will consider it as 5 meter, and if you didn't reply within 48 hours, it will be considered as a You put the customer in the corner. This is the first question. Second one? You forget.
I forget that.
Yes.
Yes. So if you have your client requiring you for a new scope of work, it's totally additional, but he counted as a social services, which is going to cost you almost 60 million. Right? That's social. You know what I mean.
Don't swim with the sharks. Don't swim with the sharks.
Yeah, but you have no choice.
You want to be a shark?
You have no choice. So how you can reduce
مشروع كبير بدك تتحمل. تاخذ مشروع كبير كذا مليار بدك تتحمل 60 مليون.
انت كده واضح
So how are you gonna at least to minimize, because it actually starts at 33 million.
it seems.
Then start adding
Yes.
and adding and adding.
Yes. In this case, you have to respect yourself and your reputation and escalate this to the management.
Yes.
That's it. Escalate it to the top management because this. It seems that this requirement from the customer, like there are something on the long vision, on the long term, because 60 million is not something small. So in this case, you have to reply like this. Okay, sir, we understand your requirement, but this decision, I don't want to approach the budget, but however, 6 million is 60, I know, 60, a very big number. So in polite way, you have to reply to the customer, don't agree, don't refuse, but say, I have to check with my manager. And take the whole thing and give it to the top manager. That's it.
But the management will be, it's your responsibility. Try to minimize as much as you can.
يمكن one point maybe needs to be clarified. The project manager not necessarily should be the only one who is responsible for the scope creep. في committee تبعت البروجكت. Yes, he has to escalate it to the committee.
In this case, if the management told you try to manage, they will come at the end of this drama and say you are the one who put everything in the world into the sea.
You will be the scapegoat.
You will be the one. Yes. Don't be the victim. Never. Never. Try to bring the operation manager. Try to bring the agenda. All the people above you. Try to bring them to discuss with the top management.
That's the whole solution.
Yeah. Yes.
How you can communicate with the client, how you can convince them, or how you can restrict it to
No. Okay, now it seems you are working at the site, yes?
Yes.
And you are the focal point at the site.
Yes.
Don't be the bad guy. This is my advice. If you are at the site and there are the management standing, the head office in the very nice place, you have two choices, to be the bad guy or good guy. I mean, the bad or good. And don't be the bad. You know why? Because you see them every day.
Yes.
Never. I reached a point with the customer. I was at the site. They said like this. If you are not in the project, we will terminate this company. They told me like this.
Yes.
Because I'm not fighting them. Let those people. I mean, Yes.
يعني فيها وجهة نظر. فيها وجهة نظر. You have to protect your company.
Of course, you have to, but 60 million. Protect what? The company will get
ما الكاش جبت المشروع، قلت المشروع 2 بليون. 3 طيب أقل 1%.
You showed a case study for Denver International Airport. And this is one of the famous case studies and mega projects. Are you aware of any other mega project that did not have a scope creep?
I think the question, so did you have any mega project that you don't have? You asked this. No, of course. All of them. Of course. At the beginning of the presentation, I showed some numbers. 57 of the project, 57% of the project they have scope. 57%.
Now, a mega project, the rate is above 9%. Now, the second question. What's the underlying reason behind the scope? What's the main reason behind it?
Yes. Yes. We can have more than one reason.
Just one.
One reason?
Go. Very well defined.
Where? In the Middle East or outside the Middle East?
All the same.
I need to make the customer satisfied. Yes.
Scope is not well defined. That's the scope.
That's missed the underlying reason.
طيب شنو؟ كعينة.
Okay, you can.
Okay,
let's.
Scope is not well defined.
Okay, let's make discussion. Okay. Well, we have more than one reason. What is the main reason?
The main reason.
The underlying cause is not defining the scope well.
Say the scope is not defined well.
صح بس هذه result برضه.
لا nothing is clear.
We can not involving all the stakeholders.
What's the cause? Change. Let me
we go to the poor design or
You need the mic?
The scope is undefined.
sorry, all these are results. Why the scope not defined properly and why the design is not defined, developed properly?
Maybe-
So go back. Why?
Every project is unique.
Yes?
Every project is unique. So you cannot tell
You cannot change this fact.
of
Yeah, but this is the nature of our projects. All the projects are unique. Each project will have distinct start and characteristics, different locations. Even if you are building two McDonald's, you will have different geotechnical studies and different locations.
طيب maybe
Even though it's the same design.
أجاوب؟
اتفضل.
لا maybe not
Go one
involving
step back.
maybe not involving all the stakeholders.
Exactly.
هذه حلوة. You are in the right direction.
أيوة. ما فيش project collaboration.
Communication.
Collaboration.
Enough.
Integrated project delivery.
Experience, yeah, even if you have the experience, still you will have problem.
I believe.
Maybe unclear requirements. One of the reasons.
This is in the right direction too. I believe the main reason behind the scope creep is the lack of understanding. The lack of understanding on the project requirement.
Yes, business
Even
analyst.
if you have the designer and even if you have an architect, and we have seen many international consultants in the Middle East making disasters. And at the end, who pays the cost? Either the contractor or the client. So the mistakes of the consultant, the contractor pay for it, or they will authorize it in a variation order and the client pay for it. So the main problem is the lack of understanding on the project requirement. How to build this understanding, how to increase the level of understanding early enough so you can define the requirement of the project and therefore design it properly by engaging all the stakeholders upfront.
شكرا مسعود.
Thank you.
What if the communication was there, but you have bullying involved?
This will not change. This is culture.
Okay. So you can still have grief.
Endless.